You're all in for a treat today, as today's episode of the Sauce Talk podcast is quite the interesting one. You see, my guest here can take these two words, both starting with the letter P, and explain how they both changed his life in more ways than one: plumbing and Pokemon. And this is quite the journey, and I'm very excited to sit here and put on display his very testimony describing those two words that start with the letter P, so you could understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So please, without further ado, I'd love to introduce the wonderful, the powerful, and the mighty interesting Nicholas Hildebrandt, also known as the PokePlumber. You're now listening to the Sauce Talk podcast. What up, everybody? It's your boy Al Siggity Sauce, and welcome back to the Sauce Talk podcast. Today, I have a very fun episode set up for you all. Today, we're going to learn about Pokemon, we're going to learn about plumbing, and how both of those things changed my guest's life in more ways than one. So please welcome my buddy Nick Hildebrandt, also known as the PokePlumber. What's up, baby?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Listen, man, thank you for coming. I've had this idea in my head for quite some time. I think you have a fascinating story, and I think your fans would enjoy to hear it all. And I haven't seen you in, it's gotta be fucking 20 years, dude.
Dude, a long time.
Right?
A long time. Since high school, bro.
Yeah, wow, we've been out of high school now for
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, that's insane. Well, listen, man, I just want to let you know that I'm extraordinarily proud of you, more than you'll ever know. I mean, you became a wonderful father, a wonderful husband, a business owner, a Pokemon collector. Just the amount of accolades that you've accumulated in the past couple of years, and me getting to watch your story unfold. As I know some of your grim past, I'm really proud of you, man, because some people that were in your position don't make it out alive, let alone out of success in general. They just do not, go forth. So, I think that this podcast will be important for a lot of people that don't know you, that just in general are fans of you, that could probably relate to your story and in a way that they probably wouldn't even imagine prior. So, you and I are about 3 to 4 years apart from each other, something like that.
Yep.
And even though that's not a lot of time when it comes to the drug game and the similar substance abuse that you and I have kind of went through, because we don't have similar stories, but we're in the same kind of bracket when it came to the stuff we were doing. That's a large gap with perspective and how things changed, because that game changed so rapidly and it took the world by storm. And 4 years, 4 years is a lot. So not only do I want to hear your story, but also hear your perspective, so I can get kind of an understanding of how different my experience was and yours from different sides of the coin, if you will. You know what I mean? So, well, the first thing is this. I kind of want to take it back and start kind of from the beginning. The last I remember you was from high school. From high school, you were a happy kid, very funny. You were pretty popular, and you were in a couple sports. I believe you were in wrestling and football?
Baseball, wrestling and baseball.
Oh, I thought you were in football for some reason.
In middle school, I was in football.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yep.
Middle school. Since Pokemon came out in this side of the country in 1998, I believe, or 99, the cards.
Like the English was 99,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
I know in 96 it came out in Japan under Bandai, and it was called, the Cardass
card.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's like the first, yeah. See, you're educated.
A little bit. I like to learn a little bit, but I remember that was the original, but then it really didn't come here, the English release, until 99 or whatever.
Yep.
I remember when they came here, Wizards of the Coast put them out. I remember I went ballistic with it. What are your earliest memories of Pokemon cards and collecting them from early on?
Okay. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for having me. I've never quite told my story. So for people that watch me, that have been on my journey in Pokemon, they've never seen the old version of Nick that you have. So if I can help anybody out there and truly tell them kind of what I went through, it'll be an honor. And my goal is if I can help one person from this podcast, as long as I can help one person, that's all that matters to me. Because so many people feel like they're alone when they go through, these trials and tribulations. People are embarrassed by their story, right? That's kind of, I was maybe afraid how people would perceive me or look at me, right? Because in Verona, you know how it is. It's a white class, it's a white collar kind of like town, where everybody knows everybody, everyone judges everybody. So I just always had those eyes on me, and it used to be positive from sports, and then it turned into, negativity after I went through those trials and tribulations, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm finally going to be able to tell my story, right? And, And it's an honor to do it with you. So thank you.
No, well, I thank you for coming and sharing it, because not everybody wants to talk about this stuff, especially on a public stage like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it kind of helps. It helps you. It helps me. It helps others. You know what I mean? I've done it a couple times in this podcast where I've been open about, my drug abuse and what I did years ago. And I don't care, man. I'm pretty much an open book, and not everybody is. And I respect that. It's fine. You don't have to be an open book. Not everybody should get a glimpse if they don't have to. But I think in a scenario like this, it helps people.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you're going to get a lot of DMs after this, and people just, that you wouldn't think were involved in similar situations that you were, and they can relate to you. And I think it's going to help, a lot of these people.
And that's beautiful at the end of the day. That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But as far as my first Pokemon memory, right?
Yeah.
We're going way back. So base set was released. And I remember my mom would bring a couple packs home, and I remember we went to go get our nails done. And she was like, if you're good while you get while I get my nails done, we'll stop at the store and get you Pokemon packs. So we stopped at the one store, and they were sold out of Pokemon. They had Beanie Babies there, right? Shout out to the Beanie Babies.
Wow, Ty, yeah.
And then we went to another store, and they didn't have it either. So, a couple days went by, and then we went to McDonald's the one day, and there was a store right next to it. It was a florist, right? And it's right the McDonald's in Bloomfield, right? Right by the 7-Eleven right there. So we go into the florist, and they have base set packs. And I remember, back then people weren't opening boxes of base set packs. They were opening maybe 1, 2, 3 packs. So I remember she gets me a couple packs, and I'm so excited that she's paying for it in line, and I'm already into the pack. And I remember I pulled a shadowless Venusaur, right?
Wow.
And that's the first nostalgic feeling that I had was a shadowless Venusaur, And I remember being so excited. And then the second pack was a Gyarados, so it was a back-to-back hit. And I remember going home that night, and I'm getting my binder, right? And not putting anything in sleeves. There were no sleeves back then.
Yeah.
I mean, if there were, I wasn't doing them,
using them.
So I remember going home that night, and I'm sleeving the commons, I'm sleeving the uncommons, and then I have the Gyarados and the Charizard, the Gyarados and the Venusaur. And I remember sleeving it, and they were the center of my whole binder. And then it just took on a whole new beast. And then after that, we started having newer sets come out. And I remember everyone was talking about Jungle. I'm like, what's this Jungle set? And I remember we went to Paradox Comics in North Arlington, because my best friend at the time lived in North Arlington.
Ah, okay.
And we went to Paradox, and we got Jungle packs. And I remember I pulled a first edition Pidgeot. And then I wanted the Scyther, but I got a non-hollow Scyther. And it just, every set, then you were excited for new set after new set. And it was just, I remember that feeling that there was no worries in the world, we're just enjoying it, and we're taking our allowance money and we're putting in the Pokemon. And when I was a little kid, dude, my family, we weren't rich. We were poor. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Bloomfield, right? My dad was doing whatever it took to, get us to that next level. But I just remember we didn't have these expectations when we were kids. We didn't know if we were rich. We didn't know if we were poor. And it was just for that moment, Pokemon just made you feel at peace. And that's kind of how I got back into it. I mean, we can get into that later on, but
we will,
that's what started it for me.
Damn, you're in my head, because I was thinking about that as you were talking, of the simpler times when we were just purely innocent,
Mm-hmm.
and just, we didn't have any of those adult worries. We didn't have any of that. We just lived in the moment. and lived for what we really liked and just enjoyed life. We didn't have those bills, all those worries that adults have, the responsibilities, the making sure food's on the table. We just existed. And there's something beautiful and blissful about those times when you're a kid. And those moments like that when you're cracking open fresh, booster packs or fresh packs of Jungle. Dude, Jungle, I loved that set.
Yeah, Jungle is awesome.
Now, that's kind of like the only time, like, I kind of stopped at Fossil.
Okay.
That was kind of, actually, no, I had a couple of those, the ones that had the R, were those Rocket?
Yep, Team Rocket.
Team Rocket. So
Yep.
that was probably the last pack I've ever bought.
Okay.
And the game obviously unfolded way crazier since then. But yeah, like I said, you read my mind because it's just those times were so special. And I think that's why people like you, people like me, we constantly collect because we're constantly remembering those simpler times. That's when we were the happiest, right?
Yeah.
That's why I buy these arcade machines and video games and toys because I just want to relive those moments of when I was a kid. And that's why it's like the markets change with age brackets because by the time we're in our 30s and 40s and we have established jobs and all this stuff, that's why all these things, they start to go crazy because now we want to own the shit we had when we were kids.
Because we have adult money now, right? We have adult money, and it's but that's what's beautiful about nostalgia, and that's what keeps these collectibles, continuously going up and going up and going up.
Yeah,
yeah,
it just keeps it thriving,
and
we're here for it.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of want to get into your past. So for me, it was upon exiting high school is when I kind of went down like a dark path, if you will. I got roped into that opiate epidemic. And, I got in basically at its infancy stages. So we didn't really have much examples to go off of. So we didn't really know what we were getting into. So that's why I say before that 3 to 4 year difference is kind of major in the drug game because a lot changed in 3 to 4 years to 5 years. For you, when did the tides change? And what was even your story or your first introduction to them as a whole? And how did this whole thing start for you? Because, as I remember, you never really in high school were into that stuff. You weren't really a drinker.
No.
You didn't really smoke pot. So when did this whole thing start for you? And how did you get introduced to that whole realm?
Okay, so it was actually like the summer of junior year. And it was summer baseball. I'm playing baseball. And I remember I'm up at bat. I didn't really stretch. I'm still young. I should have stretched, but we were late to the game. So I had to, hurry up. And I was batting second that day. So I get up to the plate and I swing and I go to pull back and I feel like a pop in my hip. It's like, I feel it and I hear it. And I'm like, oh. So I ended up not even swinging at the next pitch. I strike out and I go to center field. A ball's hit to me and I'm running and all I hear is a bunch of like snaps in my groin, right? It's like from my hip to my groin. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm really hurt. So I ended up going on the bench, right? They're like, you can't play through it. I'm like, no way. This is my first injury now. And I remember I go home, my mom brings me to the doctors, and the first thing they subscribe me is Percocets, the Watson 5s.
Oh, wow, the right? Watsons.
The Watson 5s.
I forgot about the Watsons.
So the Watson 5s, and it was like my first time I ever took a Percocet in my life. And I remember like I had like this weird feeling. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? And I remember at the time I had a girlfriend, I'm hanging out with her and I'm like, these things are amazing. I'm having the best time ever. I'm hurt and I don't feel I'm not even using my crutches. And I mean, as soon as that like finished up, then I was done, right? It was like a one and done thing. Went back to my life, did my thing. And then, we fast forward to after high school and now we're in college and my biological father passes away, right?
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. So my biological father passes away and it was like the day of his funeral. I don't want to say his name, but he was one of my neighbors across the street. He's like, here, take this. You won't feel anything. Because I'm devastated. I'm younger. My dad and we got in an argument like before he passed away. And, it affected me deeply. So I was a mess. And he's like, here, try this. And I try a blue pill, a Percocet 30, right? And I was still upset, but it numbed the pain, right? Like it became like, oh man, this stuff really can numb the pain. What's going on? So now my father passes away. He's passed away. I end up with all this cash. I'm a young kid. I'm in my 20s. I'm 21, 22 in college with all this money now, right? First thing I do, when the when a 20-something-year-old inherits, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Because my dad wasn't married with anyone, no other kids.
That much money?
Might be closer to $1 million mark. Wow. And this is a story that not many people know. I can't believe I'm going into this because I don't talk to anybody about this.
Yeah.
So my dad wasn't he was a bad Italian guy. That's as far as I'll go into it, right? So when we're going through the house, we find a boatload of stuff, right? And, we're buying new cars. I'm hanging out with those bad people. Now Percocets are everywhere, right? This is still when the stuff in Florida is happening. It's right after that. And now, perks are everywhere. We're popping them. We're partying, drinking. And, no one saw it as a problem yet. There was no, AA, no one talked about this stuff to us. Because, even though I'm only a couple years younger, it still wasn't, prominent. There was no Percocet epidemic yet. And it became the norm because you're going to these parties and you're hanging out with, these athletes playing football, baseball, wrestling, and everybody's doing it. Some of the most popular kids in the world are doing it, right? Coke is socially acceptable. So how do you come down from Coke? It's Percocet, right?
Yeah.
But I remember, now I have all this money. I'm going to Aruba, doing drugs in Aruba. And now it's becoming, instead of a weekend thing, it's starting to become a daily thing. And I still don't notice it's bad. And then you're still getting them cheap. Everybody has them. And you're what the hell's going on? Because we're down the shore and we're literally in a bedroom full of 10 guys and we're all taking perks before we go out.
Dude.
Some of the most best friends that I grew up with, people you would never imagine, right? But for me, I didn't know I had this allergy that's going to, spread into, handcuffs, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going out and we're partying nonstop. And I'm spending all this money. I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm buying watches, going to Aruba once a year, going on all these vacations. I totaled my one car. I go buy a brand new BMW off the lot like it's nothing. So I'm out there and I'm going to stores, I'm buying every video game, every movie. Like I said, you're young, I'm buying shoes. Now I'm collecting shoes. I'm going and buying Dornbacher 3s, Cements, Military Blues, Red Octobers, everything.
Yeah.
But eventually, how many cars can you buy after you total them until you start to run out of money? And when you run out of money, you're okay, well, what's cheaper than... Fuck, I don't want to get into that part.
I got
you. But you keep getting into, worse stuff. And now I'm going to work and I'm, no, this was the first time. So I got sick, right? And I had the flu or whatever, legitimately. And instead of it just being the flu, I'm what the heck's going on? This is way worse than just a flu. So now I'm not sick 2 days later, but I'm still don't feel right, 3 days later. And this is when I realized there might be a problem because my buddy came over the fifth day. I've been in my bed for 5 days now. And he ends up giving me one of them. And I felt like a new man. I was right? I'm there. And that's when I realized that maybe I do have an issue. Right.
You were going through withdrawal. You didn't know it.
Didn't know it. I was I have the flu. I'm going to get over it. Even though I was sick, had a fever, but the flu never lasted that long. And I'm getting depressed. I'm laying in bed. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to eat. I feel like I'm going to vomit every 2 seconds. I feel like my skin's crawling. Some of the worst feelings in the world. When I say I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, I truly wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
That stuff is horrible.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, what's worse about it too is like you said, I got in the infancy stage and you weren't that far behind me. So it's we didn't have any examples. Like when we were growing up, we already had a knowledge of crack because that was in the 80s and stuff. So you got to see the results and impact that stuff had. When we got into this opiate shit, nobody knew what would happen from it, what would succumb from popping pills every day and what the withdrawal symptoms were like. So it's kind of we were learning on the fly. And unfortunately, a lot of people learned the bad way and they didn't make it out on the positive side of things. But it's crazy that you're going through withdrawal, but you don't know what it is.
No idea.
Until you start realizing and putting 2 and 2 together and using, the wonderful world of common sense. It's because now that he gave me this, now I feel like a new man.
Yep.
That's bizarre, man. That's wild. How old are you? So you said you had all this money.
Yep.
You were doing this stuff. You were in your early 20s.
Early 20s, yep.
Damn.
And then I remember my mom and I got in a huge argument. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" She was like, "Are you doing something?" And I was like, "No, what would I be doing?" And I told her, this was my fourth car at this time. So I pull up with another brand new car.
Fourth car.
Yeah, it's an Acura TL. Like, I pull up and I told her I leased it so I don't get in trouble, right? Because I'm still living at my mom's. I'm still in my younger 20s. And I didn't know that they mail your title, right? So at the time I'm living this is when we're in Verona now. I'm living in the back house, the pool house, right? Because I wanted to be away from everybody. And I'll never forget, I hear the door fly open and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And she's holding like the pink slip. And I'm like, because she knew how much money I was burning, you know? And she's like, "That's it. You're out of here. Get out. This is it." So now, you know, I'm in my younger 20s. I still have cash. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw you. I'll go do my own thing. So now I move to Whippany in this house. Like, my neighbor at the time, my other neighbor, he had like a 2-family house. He's like, "Come move here to Whippany." You know, rent was cheap. It was in the middle of nowhere. And I go to Whippany now. So now this is my first time with no parental supervision, right? Like,
oh boy.
Now I'm off to the races, right? Now it's a new girl every week. It was bad, bro. Like, it was a new girl. I'm spending money like no other. No one's going to stop me now. I'm uncontrollable. I'm doing donuts. It's like acres of this property. I'm in an Acura TL doing donuts, you know.
Holy shit.
And I don't even own the house, and I'm ruining the property because it's like 3 a.m. and, you know, and I don't want to like glorify this or anything like that. And it got to the point where like I'd pull in the driveway and I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'd be in the car with it still in drive, just sitting in the driveway. And I knew it was getting really bad because like I used to like lay in that house and lay on the couch and like in my head, I would be like, I hope my parents come here because they haven't heard from me in 3 days. Right? Like, it was more so a cry for help because like you can name all the glorious things, all the money, all the shoes, all the video games, like all that stuff. But it was the dumbest way to spend this money. So now I'm in like a horrible position. I'm miserable. I'm depressed. I don't even want to live anymore. And I remember I was out, we had like a hurricane and I had to drive all the way down to Newark, right? From Whippany. And when I drive to Whippany, the house was broken into and robbed of everything. So like my dad's $20,000 gold chain gone, the $10,000 bracelet gone, all the video games, all the consoles, computer, you know. I mean, they eventually got that person, but by the time it was like 5 months later, all that stuff was gone, right? And it was just like a little restitution check for like $150 every like 3 months. I think I still get them here and there.
So did you know the person that did it? I was going to say you had to. Yeah, that sounds like an inside job.
It was my ex-girlfriend's friend's boyfriend who I used to do drugs with, right?
That's what happens, bro. Everybody gets slimy, bro.
People get slimy. They see what you have and like they stole my Tag Heuer, all my watches. So now like all this money that I put into this stuff, right, is like gone. I'm running out of money. And my mom's like, you need to go away. You need to get help. So now it's like, you know, year after year going back and forth. You do good for a year, you get messed up. You do good for a year, you get messed up. So now my final stint, I was 28 years old. And my mom said, you have a decision. She said, you can hop on an airplane. I'll pay for the ticket. You go to your Uncle Mike's house and get your shit together or we're done with you. We're never talking to you again. And I grabbed that ticket and I was already sick. When she came to come get me, I was already sick. All I had was like a backpack, right? That's it. Backpack full of clothes. No more materialistic things because you eventually, after getting robbed, then you eventually sell everything, you know, just to keep paying for it. So I hop on a ticket. I go to Arizona. I'm sick for the 6-hour plane ride. Feel horrible. And then it's like, I'll never forget this. I don't think I've ever shared this. I'm on this plane ride and next to me is like a little kid on a tablet, right? But he's bald and has cancer, right? And it's like, this little kid is fighting for his life and I'm over here a fucking mess at 28 years old, right? And it's like God works in mysterious ways. And it was just so surreal having that little kid next to me on this flight when I'm sitting here and I'm sick and I feel like I'm dying, but this little kid is truly dying, right? And for some reason that day, everything changed. And I get to my uncle's. I lay there, 4 days, 5 days, because he had his own issues, right? He was in recovery. So that's why my mom sent me there. He's like, we'll take Nick, we'll bring Nick back. Hell, did I think it was actually going to work? I had no idea, but I was willing to try anything. So it was no rehab, nothing like that, just went to my uncle's. And it was like, okay, after a week, now I feel better. I get my license back. I transfer my license to Arizona. I'm like, you know what? Because I was I was depressed. I was battling with my ex. I was depressed. I was miserable. I was, eating Percocets like Skittles. But like something had to change. I didn't want to feel like I didn't mind if I went to sleep that night and didn't wake up in the morning. That's what I wished for. As dark as it sounds, I just didn't care if I was alive anymore. And it's horrible to say, but it's just like, that's where the stuff brings you. It brings you to your knees, right? So now I'm in Arizona. It's in the winter in Arizona, but it's sunny every day. So it's not like here where it's dark and gloomy. It's sunny. So I'm waking up and people are in sweatshirts. I'm in a t-shirt. I'm like, it's beautiful here. So then I go and get a job, right? I go and work for this plumbing company because like at the end of the day, I was still a great plumber. Nothing changed. I go and get this job at Parker & Sons in Arizona. I start making real money, right? They have like 100 techs. I was top 5 tech in the first month. Then now I'm like sober, I'm in the zone, and now I can do anything. Now I'm my 100% myself again, like Nick's back. But it's not Nick, it's a better version of Nick, right? An honest Nick, no more lies, no more bullshit. Just, I was tenacious and I was ready to finally change my life. I'm like, dude, I'm in my late 20s, I'm not gonna get any younger, it's over. The party's over for me. So now I go get
how long were you clean at this point?
When I was in Arizona?
No, like when you got there and you got the plumbing job. Like how long were you clean from
3 weeks.
The minute?
3 weeks.
Oh, so you arrived there, 3 weeks, you get this new plumbing job.
Yep, 3 weeks. I shake it, and I'm telling you, it was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, but I was so determined that nothing was going to stop me. Prayer, a lot of prayer. I'd lay there and I'd be like, God, get me through this. God, I was like talking to God 24/7 because like, I believe in God. That's my higher power. Like I still pray all the time, pray with my kids all the time. Like God is huge in our lives. Because like the crazy thing is like when you're down and dumped, you pray to God, you scream for God, you beg for God. But it's like when you finally get where you want to be, like that's when you thank God. You have to remain that connection no matter what. Right? Because he can humble you in a second.
And most people stop at that point once they get what they want.
Yes, exactly. And believe me, like, dude, we're talking, like, I'm leaving a lot out, but this was, 6 years of getting sober, not then getting messed up, getting sober, getting messed up. Like there was no consistency. And now I'm in Arizona. I'm ready to go. So now it's like, all right. And I like I said, I went there with just a bag, no money, nothing, right? Just a bag on my shoulders. And I start working for this company and now I'm selling. And now I'm kind of making, like I'm working, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Cause like, that's where I'm putting, my focus into work. So I shit you not. The first month they give me a new truck, right? The second month they give me another new truck. And then the third month they give me another new truck. It's like how I was with cars, but now they're giving me brand new work trucks every time, like a better version. They finally give me a brand new truck with like a lift in it for the heavy machine, everything. So I'm working my ass off. My truck is clean and I'm looking for tools, right? Like I'm looking for Milwaukee batteries because they gave me like a tool allowance because I didn't have any tools. And it started with like little things. Then I paid back my tool allowance. Then I bought more tools. Then I was making a lot of money. I didn't need tool allowances anymore. And so I'm on OfferUp. This is like 2018. I'm on OfferUp and I'm looking for Milwaukee batteries. And instead, Pokemon packs pop up, right? And I'm like, Pokemon packs. Pokemon's still out there, right? And it was like base set packs. And they were listed for like $50 for a base set pack.
The shit we had when we were growing up.
The stuff we had when we were growing up. So I'm like, all right, Pokemon's, it's still a thing. Since when? So now I'm like Googling local like game store, local card shop. And at the time, Ultra Prism is like the newest set. This is like the Sun and Moon era. So I buy like a box of Ultra Prism, and I'm like, oh, this set's it's okay. And then I go to the store and I'm starting to talk to the guy. I'm like, oh, what do you have? And then he has like an Ancient Origins box. He's like, oh, you like Lugia? I'm like, yeah. And then he shows me Ancient Origins. So now I'm like getting back into Pokemon. And at the time, now I've been in Arizona for a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? It's the beginning of 2019. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to try to, I've been doing well out here. I want to go back to home. And they always tell you to remove the person, places, and things, right? But I was like, I think I'm there. So I go back home, but I'm not quite home yet. I go to Pennsylvania, okay? So now I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm trying to make things, work out with my ex. And I take my...
Wait, your ex is from Pennsylvania?
My ex is from Pennsylvania.
How'd you... Oh, man, there's so much.
There's so much that I left out. Did you want me to get into that?
I was just kind of letting you flow. But there's let me ask you one thing.
Yeah.
The plumbing thing interests me.
Okay.
So you went out there and you said you got that plumbing job right away. So that means you already had plumbing experience.
Yes.
I'm curious how that even started.
Okay.
What age did you start doing plumbing?
All right. So you want to retrace a little bit, retrack. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Because I'm interested in your origins.
Yeah. So my dad, he owns a bunch of properties in Montclair, right? And he would plumb, and I'd go work. We were so poor that they couldn't hire a babysitter, that we would go and we'd go to work together, right? In his like green little truck. So we would go there, and then I was always working in, construction with him. So I'd go and I'd help do stupid stuff when I was little. And then the older I got, I would go and work with him. And he just taught me like work ethic. And I hated working with my dad. Like it was miserable because in high school, you want to text girls and, text your boys and see what they're doing that night. But instead, like my dad's like, I own that phone. Like he was the kind of dad, like I thank God for him because he's the reason that I have the work ethic I have today. I hated him at the time, and he would take my phone and throw it out the window while we're driving.
Wow.
He's like, I own that, right? He was a very strict dad. Right? Like when I say my dad, yes, my biological father passed away, but my dad, he's been there since I was 4. That's my dad, But it was just always like, get off your phone, no lunch, you're working. And he instilled work ethic to me. And like, I hated it. I was like, I don't need to work. And he's like, at the time when I got all that money from my biological father passed away, he was like, oh, we're going to pay you in, the other money that you got to work. Right. Yeah. And I was like, this is bullshit. I don't want to work. I just want to party. But throughout, middle school, high school, and then like when I was getting bad, then I would still work with him. Like he would make me work with him to make sure I would stay sober later in the days, right? But I've been in construction since like 13 years old, dude.
Wow.
Forever. It's always been instilled in me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your dad and your mom knew you were involved in drugs kind of early on.
Like in my, like early 20s, yeah.
Do you remember the moment when like your mom or your dad like started to, I know the pink slip was like the real turn.
That's the one that broke the camel's back.
But when was the first time that you really started to notice like my parents know what's going on here?
So for like a year and a half, they would like be like, oh, we watched this thing on MSNBC of like, that's when like the pill pandemic started being talked about. And they were like, are you on anything? And my mom would come up to me and like look me like right in my eyes to see if like my pupils were pinned.
The pinholes,
yeah, exactly. You know what it is.
Yeah.
So she would look me in my eyes and I'd be like, I'm fine. And then I remember she got like these new lights in the kitchen. I remember I got home at like 2 a.m. and I turned these lights all the way up so I could say it was like the brightness in my eyes, right?
Yeah, because that will change your eyes too.
Yes,
you have lighter eyes too, so.
Yeah, exactly. They're like hazel.
Yeah. They're not brown, but
yeah. So you could see them. And she would always look in my eyes, and I'm telling you, like she would ask me questions like, if you piss in a cup, could you pass it, right? So like for a year, they knew I smoked weed, but they were waiting to see like if I was doing something worse. And then it's like when I'm not going to school, college, and I'm laying downstairs until or in the back house until like 10, 11, like something's going on,
Yeah.
And that's when they started to like have an idea, but I would always deny it. And my mom, she was the best. She was like, listen, if there is something wrong, I'm not mad. I want to help you.
Yeah.
And that's what they would say. Like my dad's more of like, the strict guy, but like my mom's like, listen, like good cop, bad cop, right? Like my dad was the enforcer, but my mom was like, listen, like I'm here to help you, right? If there's something going on, tell us. Because like when you're that age, like now as a father, I completely understand. Like, I pray that I don't have to have this conversation, you know?
I think about that every day.
Because it's like, dude, my biological father, like that's what took him out inevitably, you know?
Really?
Yeah. So it's like,
damn.
That's always on my mind is like, I pray, dude. I pray because I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear in life, man. And like, that's a conversation that like, I'm going to have with my kids. And it's like, because like my mom had the same conversation with me and she was like, it runs in the family, you know, tried having it. And it's always like, when you're a kid, it'll never be me, right? It won't happen to me. And it's so crazy because like what I went through traumatized my brother so much that my one brother just doesn't do anything, bro. You know,
that's
like
kind of good, I guess.
Yeah, it's so good because he saw like the hell I went through, right? But like that's something that's always going to be on my mind. Like you got to tell your kids like that conversation.
It's tough. One other thing I think about is like being a parent. Now that you and I are both parents, thinking about like if that were to ever come up, like the pain and suffering that we put our parents through. I couldn't imagine if I was a parent knowing my kid is a problem and I'm almost feeling like that hopelessness. Like, I don't know if I can fix it because you know how it is. I know tons of dope fiends. If you don't want to stop yourself, you're not going to stop.
Dude, until you hit that breaking point, like if my parents, because I saw so many people get enabled nonstop, like my parents cut me off from everything, right? Like I'm leaving a lot of this stuff out, but my parents did whatever it took to try to stop me. But you will step over your grandma if you have to when you're in that moment. And that's the most unfortunate thing, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
You will do whatever it takes to get that next one. And freaking Zeus himself cannot stop you. And that's just where the pill pandemic like brings people. Like they don't understand that. It's horrible, man.
I know. And the worst part about it too is like how many people we've lost during this time frame. I mean, I can't even count on two hands anymore. I'm sure you the same thing. How many people we lost?
Dude, my uncle always calls me like the 3%er because like that's the statistic that like 3% make it.
Wow.
Like think about that.
Damn.
Like that's why it's like I'm just grateful, man. God is great. But yeah, my parents did whatever it took to try to help me. And like if that, dude, I'll freaking kidnap my son and put him in the woods and for like, really? I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to think about it, but we always have to be cautious of it.
I know.
That's
rough.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrible. So you end up going to Arizona and stuff, but I want to talk about your ex, not specifically about her, but because when you came back, you moved in with her. So how long were you dating her prior to you going to Arizona? And was she a user as well?
So it was on and off for like 2 years, right? But like, real responsible of me. This is like when I first get my stuff together, like the first time, like in 2 months she was pregnant, right? So yeah, and you know that's a recipe for disaster. And she was just like a heavy drinker. That was her thing, drinking. So, 2 dead batteries don't start a car. Yeah. And we tried starting a car and it would just, end up in flames every time. And then, my buddy Bo and I, like we had a room, we were roommates and, she came over, we're making things work, hang out one time, and she gets pregnant again. Right? Man. I share a bar of soap and a woman gets pregnant. It's insane. It's insane, bro. I don't...
It's the pulp, dude. It's the pulp, dude.
But, oh, man. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. But, yeah, shortly after that happened, it was just, flames again. She fights with me and then, like... I don't want to like put too much of her stuff out there.
No, yeah. I was just curious of when you because that's a part of your timeline is having kids.
Yeah.
So that's who's the mother of your first 2 children.
Yes.
So I was just curious of the timeline.
Like I'll always give her credit. She's a great mom. She had her own demons. I'm sure I wasn't the best to deal with, but at the end of the day, she is a great mom. I'll always give that to her.
So you had your kids before you went out to Arizona.
Yep. Like
Both of them.
Both of them. Like
Wow.
Izzy was like, I don't know, like 2 months, right? And then when I got back, she was like 14 months. So yeah, it was like 14 months.
So what was that like for you? Like you're knee deep in this shit.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. You're going to Arizona. Now you're thousands of miles away from your kids. What was that experience like for you going to Arizona, starting a new life temporarily and not seeing your kids ever?
Well, the thing is, I at least I was able to like FaceTime and talk to them. It's not the same, right? But that's like what made me turn it on, right? Was the kids. Like they say like you can't rely on anyone, but like my kids gave me that driving factor, right? Like the love for my kids. I didn't want to be the dad that like my biological father was to me, right? And that's all I could think of. And I was like, because I'd be there, then her and I'd fight, then we'd split up. And whether, drugs or nothing there was always fights, right? No matter what, even sober, intoxicated, there's always fights. It just never worked. And my kids that's why I came home, is because I became so homesick for my girls. And that's why I went back to Pennsylvania. Right? Like if I didn't have the kids, I would have never came back from Arizona. Like I was out there, I was saving money. I wasn't spending a shit ton on rent because I was with my uncle. I was just, getting better physically, mentally, going back to the gym, praying, talking to people. I had a lot of friends in Pennsylvania already. So I was ready to make that, come back home. And for the first time in my life, Parker and Sons, I went in there, I gave them a 2-week notice. Right? Oh, when I was out there, I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I'm saying that because like I gave a 2-week notice. They were like, you don't even need that. Go be with your family, right? But I worked another week, cleaned the truck, and then I got my Jeep and I drove all the way back to Pennsylvania from Arizona.
Wow, you drove all the way back.
Yeah, I always wanted to drive across country, right? And I was like, this is like the first time I'll be able to do that. I ended up getting food poisoning in Oklahoma City. So that was nice. Dude, I shouldn't have got the Chinese food. I knew the pork looked bad, bro. I was like, should I just get pizza? And I got freaking...
that was straight Bengal cat, bro.
It's straight one. Yeah, dude. I've never seen pork like that, and I still ate it. I was just so hungry from driving all day.
Oh, man.
But yeah, then I drove all the way back to, Pennsylvania. And then, in the first like month of being there, right? One, she doesn't have, like, she was always like, I can help you. Like she wanted to help, but like for the first time ever, there was nothing to help. Right. So it became like new arguments over something else. Right. Like there's too much food in the fridge. Well, that's a good thing. Right. Toilet seat's up. Is that big of a deal? And I just knew like that it would never work, but like I was doing whatever it took for the girls. Right. Like I was with my daughters again, we're having the best time. And like, dude, I'll just battle. I'll sleep on the couch. It doesn't matter. But it just, me getting, miserable or upset again wasn't healthy for me, right?
Of course not.
And she agreed. She couldn't take it anymore because she wanted to go drink. She wanted to party. She wanted to be like 20-something again, right? So then I moved back to New Jersey. And then when I was in Jersey, that's when like soon after that, COVID happened, all right? Like... Remember when Kobe got in, rest in peace, Kobe, but like, remember his helicopter? So that's when I was back in Jersey. I'll never forget it. It's when the helicopter went down. And, dude, I just was starting a new life. I was in Montclair and I was like, all right, I'm in this place alone. Like, I'm ready to go. And like, the crazy thing is like my parents' place and they were letting me rent it and they trusted me again because they've saw for the, a couple years before that, like I was doing my thing again. Like they saw I was different. So that's the first sign of trust they showed to me. Like, we'll give you a spot. We'll give you a fair rent. Get on your feet. And from then on there, do you want me to like go into like now from COVID on?
If you want to. The one thing that I was just curious about is how old were your kids at this point now? So you moved back, you decided to leave the baby mom, you moved to Montclair. Mm-hmm. How old are the kids now?
Oh, they were 1 and 3.
Oh, wow. They were young.
Yeah, 1 and 3.
Wow, that's
they're
wild.
2 years apart.
So you just went into briefly before how you moved out to Arizona, get your life together, and that one single offer up moment is what jump-started your love again for Pokemon.
Yeah.
So from the time that you discover it again there, you purchase a couple packs out there, come back, did you start right away, hit the ground running with the Pokemon, or did it kind of like take a little bit?
So I was going to like Walmart, buying packs, looking for new local places in Pennsylvania. And then the one day I brought my daughter to go see Detective Pikachu, right? So Detective Pikachu is like really what like engulfed it in flames, that passion again. Because like now my daughter's into it. I mean, she's only like 3 at the time, but now it's giving me an excuse. We're going to Five Below and like getting packs. Like I didn't have the education yet. So I'm buying like Crimson Invasion. I'm buying Ultra Prism. Like these sets aren't that like great. Ultra Prism's decent now, but you used to be able to walk into Walmart and there would be 150 boxes on clearance at $12.99.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it. I remember I walked into GameStop and they had a Shining Legends like ultra premium collection, right? It's this box that has like 10 packs, 4 promos, a figure, and they had it like on double clearance. I'm pretty sure I bought it at $19.99, which back then was insanely cheap, just because it had like a rip in it. And I mean, I started becoming more of a nerd, right? Like now I have extra money. I haven't had extra money in forever. So I'm in Pennsylvania. I have extra money. I'm buying like SH Fig Arts action figures, like the Dragon Ball Z line.
Sick.
Yeah. So now I'm doing Dragon Ball Z SH Fig Arts. I'm doing NECA, the Turtles. I'm just doing a whole bunch of collectibles now. Now it's like, I'm not going crazy with the Pokemon yet, but I am opening packs, enjoying it, doing the action figures, displaying them. I have a display case now. It's like little things like that, like stuff I didn't have in the longest time, but now I need hobbies because 1, I'm not getting messed up anymore. And 2, like it's something for my kids to enjoy too. So like I would buy them, Dragon Stars. Those are like the cheaper Dragon Ball Z. It's still like a Dragon Ball Z line, but it's the cheaper figure. So I'd buy them a figure and then I'd get myself like the Goku for like $110, right? So that's what I started doing. But like the kids were having fun with it. And now it's like I'm not worried about anything else. And it brought me to like that moment again with my little kids, enjoying this with me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is the best. So that's like when the passion was like fully reignited at that point.
Wow. Yeah, that's the best thing when you could do something with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it's nostalgic for you and it reminds you of being a kid and you could do it with them. There's absolutely nothing better than that shit, man.
It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
now
awesome.
my daughters and I, like every time a new set comes out, like they have it spoiled. They don't understand that it's not normal to open 3 booster boxes in one sitting, like they're like, let's get another pack. And I'm just ripping out a case and like, we're going for it. Like they don't understand, but they enjoy it. Right now, the one's a little older now. She's like a diva, dude, a 10-year-old little girl. They act like they're freaking
15, 30,
social media,
15
bro.
going on 30.
Pretty much. It's
It's insane, dude. It's fucking, and especially they're in your fucking house. You say they don't really know how good they have it. Yeah, for those of you out there that know him, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's walls lined with cases, slabs of the most obscure, crazy, valuable. It's just like wall ornaments to them.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? They are good because like when I first got my like first display case, I bought like a lock and installed the lock on it. But from a young age, they knew not to touch it, and I never had an issue with them opening anything. They've always been the best. I mean, my son, like he's young, so like he's gonna have to be taught, but it's wild.
So the pandemic was crazy for all of us, especially for you. But it was really nuts for all of us, and especially all the markets. That's when arcades, toys, because everybody was sitting home, everybody had the money, and everybody started tapping into their nostalgic button and pushing that fucking button.
Yeah.
And that's when all the cards, the sports cards, the Pokemon cards, all this stuff just started to bloom. At the same time is when you start your own plumbing company called Montclair Plumbing and Heating. And I believe you started it, if I'm correct, in 2021, which is basically still, it wasn't prime pandemic, but it was still in the pandemic, at least post-pandemic. What was that like for you, and what made you take that leap to open your own company?
Okay, so I believe it was 2020, like when I started, right? But like I wasn't like big, like I didn't like make it like publicized yet, right? Like I was doing little things, yeah. But So I leave the next plumbing company, and I have all this money saved, right? Not much. I had like, dude, I was down to, so I start my plumbing company, and I'm paying like advertising fees. I'm making shirts. I'm making pants. I'm stacking up on tools. I have a truck. I have a little shop. I'm investing in material, and things are, it's in the beginning, it's hard to get clientele. I'm leaving 500 door hangers, on everyone. I'm walking around Montclair just putting on door hangers, hiring my brother to put on door hangers, paying, it wasn't Angie Leads yet. It was called something else before, but I'm paying these lead companies, Google, Yelp, everything. And dude, it goes bad for months and months. And I'm like, I'm paying my Jeep bill. I'm paying my rent. I'm paying the truck. And I'm like, holy shit, thank God I left on a good note with Len the plumber, because I'm going to have to go back there. I was down to my last $3,000 and I had bills coming up. Wow. And I was like, I can't believe it. I failed. Like, this was the first time like I failed since I started this new journey. And I'm like, I'm going to have this talk with my girlfriend at the time, right? Lauren and I weren't engaged yet or anything. And I'm like, this is going to be a horrible conversation. And so she's down the shore. She's with her family in LBI, and we get hit with a hurricane, right? They're like, go outside, it's raining. So I go outside, and I just see like an inch of water on the ground. Half hour later, my dad's calling me. He's like, make sure you're not flooding. So I look in the basement, and I see water all the way past the first staircase going to the second staircase. We're talking like 8 feet up in a basement. So now I go in the front, and there's like 6 stairs in the front, and the water's waving, hitting the front, going onto the porch. And I'm like, holy shit, the basement's flooding, everything's flooding, I'm bugging out. Next thing I know, my phone just starts ringing. And I'm like, what the heck? Montclair Plumbing and Heating, right? Can you get here to pump our basement? Listen, we can't do anything right now, but we'll be there in the morning. Because right now it's like, 10 o'clock at night, everything's flooded. You can't even leave your house. So now phone call after phone call after phone call after phone call.
No shit.
So now my phone's blowing up left and right. Dude, for 4 days straight, I maybe slept in 4 days, no exaggeration, maybe like 10 hours in 4 days. I went through 7 pairs of work boots, right? I had to buy work boots. Nobody had sump pumps left in the tri-state area. I had a connection with Pennsylvania, drove down to Pennsylvania, bought another 25 sump pumps, went back. I made everything I invested in that company in 1 week and more, right? Word of mouth, reviews, left and right.
Them fucking door hangers.
Dude, left and right, bro.
Shit.
So now, like, I went from, oh my God, I'm done for, but now I'm like, oh my God, I need more guys, right? Like, cause I was by myself, man. I was just trying to, do something on my own, be a small company. But just cause of that storm, brought me out there. It was word of mouth. Nick made it. He said he was going to be there at a time. He got there eventually. Dude, I was working till like 3 a.m. You guys, my wife, I wasn't getting home some days until like 4 or 5 a.m, just pumping out basements. And I had so many pumps that I would go and start pumping one basement, and then I'd go to another address and pump the other basement, then go pick up that pump, bring it to the next location. And then I was just popping in some pump after some pump after some pump.
I remember that fucking storm. What year was that again?
That was 21, right? Or
bro, that shit, bro. So many basements got flooded, dude.
Insane.
My friends that collected tons of toys and shit
ruined
everything, bro. My boy Shaggy, shout out Shaggy, bro. I remember seeing his videos, just seeing like, you can't even get to the bottom step.
Yep.
It's just straight water. Seeing original TMNT figures just floating.
Oh my God.
Sneakers, SB, OGs floating. Everything. Dude, it fucking was crazy.
Heartbreaking.
And it's crazy how fucked up that storm was, but it was a blessing for you.
Yeah.
Because you fucking did it.
That's literally I was literally ready that week to go work for I was going to give another week, and then I was going to go back to Len the plumber and be like, hey, can I come back? Right. And that storm did it.
If you don't believe in God, now maybe you might.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Serendipitous, dude. That was the divine intervention right there.
That was it.
It was meant to happen, bro.
Yeah. And then like the thing is, that storm killed my old truck, right? But I made so much money from that storm that I went and bought a brand new truck. How wild is that?
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. Absolutely insane, brother.
So after that, obviously now your business is rolling. Now business is booming, quote unquote, if you will.
Dude, booming.
booming.
So now I'm buying comics, I'm buying Pokemon, I'm buying Hot Toys, I'm buying SH Fig Arts, Mafex, NECA, I'm buying every action figure there is.
Yeah.
Pokemon comics, I'm doing graded comics, ASM 129, Hulk 181s. So that's the first a Punisher appearance, and that's the first full appearance of Wolverine. Like, I'm buying grails that I never could afford, because it's like when I was a kid, we'd get 1 or 2 packs and a couple comics and that's it. But now it's like, all right, this is my first time I can enjoy hobbies, and I'm taking full advantage of it. I'm in a healthy, beautiful relationship. I'm happy. We got a dog. Like, bro, this is like my daughters. I'm seeing my daughters. They're happy. They're excited. They have this beautiful room.
It's a high. You're riding a high.
I am
You're
riding
just
a high.
Just go crazy.
Yes. And now I'm spending money, but for a good cause, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm being smart at the same time. I'm putting into my S&P 500. Like, I'm finally doing right things with my money, right? Money's going to my daughters in a good way. Like, I was being smart with the money. Even though I was having fun, I made sure that I was still investing in being smart. And the one thing with Pokemon, even like back then, I couldn't afford everything. So I'd always buy 2 boxes, one to rip and one to keep sealed. And that was very important because, back then in the beginning, this is right before COVID, I'm paying anywhere from $80 to $100 a box. And on one of the most coolest boxes I bought was like a Platinum Arceus box. It's from 2009. I paid like $380 for it.
Wow.
Right. And it was just, I gave it time. And then after COVID, everyone gets the free money. Now all these figures are through the roof. All these comics are through the roof. And I said, you know what? I said, I need to choose 2 hobbies to stay in, because I can't keep up with every new release of all these figures and everything. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus on Hot Toys, and I'm going to focus on Pokemon cards. So I got in my truck, and I was messaging a whole bunch of people selling my comic collection. Like, I kept a couple cool comics, like my ASM 129 and my Hulk 181. So I took the rest of the comics. I found the guy. I had people coming, looking at him. And the first guy I find, he's in Oregon. He ends up trying to scam me. Thank God that deal died. And then I find these people in Florida. They have a tattoo comic shop, right, in Florida.
Really?
So I drive down to Florida. I send my location to my wife. I said, I'm going down to Florida. So now the whole time I'm driving down to Florida, I'm watching Pokemon videos, and I found a store in Jacksonville, and I knew on the way back I'm hitting that place. So I go down there, and now I sell the whole comic collection. It took me like 2 days to get down there. A couple tickets later, I get it. I sell the whole collection. They pay me in cash. It's crazy that I drove to accept that much cash. And so now I'm driving up. I have all this cash. And I was like, oh, I want to stop at Dick and Jane's in Jacksonville. Yeah. And keep in mind, COVID, but prices aren't crazy yet. So I ended up buying like a Dragon's Exalted box, Ultra Prism, and Unified Minds. I got the Ultra Prism, Unified Minds, super cheap, and Dragon's Exalted is like an older black and white box. Get it dirt cheap. So now I drive home, and now I'm like, all right, I'm going to really start like grabbing all these older boxes too. It's not just going to be brand new boxes. So now I have all this cash, and I'm like, here we go, baby. So now I start buying like a whole bunch of like, Sun and Moon cases. I start buying some XY boxes, XY cases. And now I'm like really enjoying the sealed, aspect of the hobby. I'm buying Crystal 10 Charizard, I'm buying like the stuff that like you couldn't even imagine. And it was just like, now I have this plumbing income. I sold the comics, and I was like, you know what? I'll sell the SH Fig Arts too. Cause I had every Dragon Ball SH Fig Art from like the, Mexico Goku. That was an exclusive down in Mexico. I had all the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, the New York City Comic-Con exclusives.
Damn.
So I sold that whole collection too, and I took all that money and I put it back into Pokemon. So I wasn't spending like too much house money. I was just spending all the collectible money. Right. So now I keep, and I still do the Hot Toys. I have so many Hot Toys. They're so expensive and they take up so much space.
I never got into them. I love them a lot, but they're fucking, it's pricey, dude.
Dude, they add up. So like that might be another, like I might sell some of those, but they display really well. Like in my cases, they look really good. And like the light up cases. So I have a big soft spot, especially for the Star Wars Hot Toys. Yeah. They're pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, they're fucking.
Like I just had the General Grievous come in. Like, oh, that's so badass, bro.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah, man. I love those.
They're awesome. But so I was really buying like sealed, and then like COVID ends and it gets dark again, right? Like everyone leaves the market, it feels like, and things start dropping. I mean, I'll give you an example real quick. You and I talked a little bit about before. When I was in Arizona, I went to the store. They had a base set booster box, and they wanted $3,000 for it, and I offered like $2,000. And he was like, "Oh, I can't do $2,000." He's like, "I'll do $3,000. That's my price." So I went up to like $2,500. I didn't even have $2,500. I had like $2,000, but I would have figured out how to get this box. So then you wait a little while, COVID happens, the box went from, $2,000 to $3,000 all the way up to $36,000. And that's essentially what happened with the Pokemon hobby. That's how much it jumped. One box went from $3,000 to $36,000. I said, I'll never be able to buy this box again. Then we get hit with that lull and it drops from 36 down to 12. I think I got it for like some trade in like 10 and I ended up with the box again. So it's like, or finally, my childhood box that I really wanted.
Yeah.
But like when that hobby, calmed down, so many people left because they weren't, quick flipping, making that money, right? That's kind of how it is right now. Everyone's quick flipping, making money. But at that time, right after COVID, things started to die down. So I started buying like cases of Chilling Reign, cases of Fusion Strike at $480 a case. Then if I bought more cases, it would be like $450 a case. This is in 2021, 2022. A Fusion Strike, there's 6 in a case, right? One Fusion Strike box, they went up to $1,000 each at a point. Now things calmed down. They're like $700, $800. But like, think about it. I'm paying that for an entire case of 6, less than that. I was paying $480 a case, dude.
Wow.
So it's like, that's when you take advantage of the markets when they go bad. And that's what I was doing. Everyone was afraid. It's like when people are scared, you buy. When people are greedy, you sell. And like, I've just used that method forever and it just seems to work.
Yeah, you were essentially buying the dip that people like to talk about when it comes to crypto and stock market. It's the same shit. It's just a different animal, a different medium.
Exactly. Same exact thing.
That's
People
fucking
overanalyze
bizarre.
everything. It's just like but that's the thing is like, if you have passion, if you have that nostalgia that you and I were talking about, the nostalgia is everything. Even when it goes down, you're still going to have love for that item.
Yeah.
Right? These people are just looking at it in dollar signs. When it goes down, they're not making that quick flip. They're going to be like, "Oh, screw this, I'm out." That's why passion is so beautiful because it'll get you to that finish line when nothing else will.
Absolutely. The one thing that I'm curious about is I just want to double back to you opening your own business. It's much easier to work for someone else than it is to work for yourself. Dude, much easier.
First and foremost, it's the scariest thing I've ever done, right? Like that transition from going and working for someone your whole life to finally doing it on your own is the scariest thing you'll ever do. But it is also the most rewarding thing. Like you hear people say, "Oh, I wish I owned my own company because I would make my own hours." Listen, bro, when you first start your company, you're working 10 days a week, 48 hours a week, if that makes sense, right? There's no such thing as a holiday. Bro, Christmas Eve, I'm in a crawl space heating up pipes because we had this really bad, this is a couple Christmas Eves ago, everyone's pipes froze, right? I'm in this crawl space on Christmas Eve, heating up these people's pipes, fixing leaks at freaking, 6 a.m. Like, when you own your own company, because it's all on you, right? It's your reputation, it's your word, and that makes it worth so much more, and you get what you pour into it. And dude, in the beginning, I worked nonstop because the reviews, I would just sit there and I'd read the reviews and it would make me feel so warm. And it was cool because I got to the point where these customers would trust me and leave their door open. And I remember I made a Snapchat. I was like, if they knew who I used to be, but it's so cool to see, I'm evolving as a person. People trust me. They rely on my word. And it was just like me growing as a man too, I acted as a child and I actually turned into a man. And that was like the most rewarding thing. And
God bless.
And I have to give my parents the biggest shout out. Dude, they rode, through the battle with me, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my mother or my father. And dude, they are the MVPs of all of this.
Shout out your parents.
Shout out. I love you guys. Seriously, I couldn't have done it without you.
Man, God bless, man. One thing I want to know is, in your personal opinion, what was the most challenging aspect of being your own boss, and what was the most rewarding of it?
The most challenging aspect of being my own boss was still spending time with the kids, right? And I still battle with that because like with my daughters, I wasn't getting them as much. And the one day my dad sat me down, and because like you become addicted to the money, right? My dad sat me down in my truck. I'll never forget this, right? I met, he's like, drive to Star Tavern, because that's where, not Star Tavern, Jake's. He was in Jake's watching football.
Oh, in Montclair, just Jake's?
Yep. And it was a Sunday, and I was working, and he made me stop there. He comes in my truck, and he goes, stop working so hard. He goes, your kids are going to grow up so fast in a blink of an eye. He's like, that's one of the biggest things I regret. And I was like, well, you created a dynasty for Jet, Cole, you know, because we were like, dude, when I say poor, like, see, I'm different than my brothers because I grew up poor. Jet went to Pace, like everything was paid for. They grew up way different than I. And that's why I have that tenacious work ethic, right? Because it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. I mean, they had their own trials and tribulations, but it was way different than how I grew up. But like when my dad had that conversation with me, and then my son was born, dude, my son, you know how you like see videos of like a mom hold the baby and the dad goes to take the baby and the baby wants to go back to the mom? Dude, my son doesn't leave my side. And like,
awesome.
Because I work this hard, like my wife, dude, she works like 2 days a week, if that. Like she didn't work all summer because I put in this work so we could spend more family time.
Good.
Right? Like, yeah, Pokemon takes up time, but like, dude, at the end of the day, I make money from Pokemon too. But my son and I, it's just a different bond because I've been there every step of the way. Granted, he's only 17 months right now, but it's like, dude, he just wants to be with his dad. Like when I get home from work and my dog and my son run up to me, that's what it's all about to me now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could sell this Pokemon box for a crazy amount of money. Yes, I could go work and do this crazy job, but there's nothing more rewarding than me opening that door and then seeing the kids there excited, seeing my dog doing spinnies. Bro, that's like, you know, every night. And it's like always the same amount of excitement.
Yeah.
Like money can't buy that shit, bro.
No. You can't give it away. You can't bottle it.
No, seriously, real shit.
Well, so talk to me about the PokePlumber. First of all, I love the name. It's a fantastic name, but how did that whole thing start? So obviously, you found your love in Arizona, and that was when you re-sparked that interest in Pokemon. Come back over here to the East Coast. And you start dabbling with it again, doing the whole thing, and you start steamrolling, starting your publishing business, the whole thing. Then you want to develop this social media presence. And it was kind of, I guess, in like 2001-ish is when you started the PokePlumber thing? 2002 or?
No. So it's kind of crazy because like it was an accident. So I'll explain what happened. So like when I got my shit together, I couldn't get into my old Instagram, right? And I was like, you know what? I'll just make a new Instagram because I can't get my old one, which I eventually got my old Instagram back. But I make a new Instagram, and like the first post is like, I'm back, right? And it was like a little after like a year when I made it, and like I look healthy, I look great again. And then I was like, all right, on this Instagram, I'll just do nerdy shit, right? It wasn't like specifically Pokemon, but like in the beginning, like people today, they get to go to YouTube, they find out, hey, this guy tells you to buy this. There's so much information on the internet now. Back then there was none. And that was the way you communicated with people with Instagram. Like I was late to the game on Instagram. I wish I knew sooner because like I'm buying stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing because I had no friends in this hobby, right? Bro, at the time I had no friends at all,
Yeah.
And so then I start posting nerdy stuff on Instagram. I'm joining Facebook pages, all this stuff. And then I'm doing action figures. I'm showing some Pokemon. I'm showing like the Game Boy. I'm showing, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this dedicated. Like I got the other Instagram back. I was like, I'll just make this dedicated to Pokemon. And then I was like, all right, I'll be the Pokemon plumber. And then like Pokemon did like this copyright thing. So I was like, all right, I'll take out Pokemon. I'll make it the PokePlumber. And then I started I was like, all right, instead of me posting like 2 times a year, I was like, I'll post every little thing I buy. Right. And I went and bought like this huge lot and I was like, all right, I'll post this. Oh, I'll post this card I just bought. So I started posting more and more and more. And then I realized the more I post, and start putting hashtags, people will start finding me. And next thing I know, I'm posting Pokemon, a couple days a week. Then it goes then it goes 3 times a week, 4 times. And then I'm like, all right, I want to blow up. So then I started posting every day because I wanted to catch the algorithm on Instagram. So now I'm posting every day and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go buy this crazy card so I could post it on Saturday. So I'd wait for it in the mail and then I'd go post it. And dude, it caught the algorithm. And then I had a video go viral and had like 2.4 million views on the video, right? It's me, just my wife.
Wow.
I was sitting on the floor opening Pokemon cards and it's like, tell me how you know your boyfriend won't cheat on you without telling you, right? And it's me just sitting there and I think I'm talking to her. So I'm like using like the baby voice, right? Because it's my wife. I think it's just her and I.
It's your own personal, the way you communicate.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't pull the Blastoise. If I can only pull the Blastoise, then I don't have to open anymore. So she shows me it. I'm like, you know what? Let's post it. Dude, I'm on a plumbing job for my buddy Bobby Grogan. Shout out to Bobby. My phone's going ding, 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 ding. I look at it, 30,000 views. I'm like, what the heck? Dude, 5 minutes later, 40,000 views. Freaking comments coming in. And I'm like, oh my God. And my followers start going ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I just kept posting Pokemon. And then next thing, then it's another 1,000 people, then another 1,000. And I just kept doing it. And I kept doing it because I was having so much fun doing it. And, I was talking about Pokemon and I realized, I was like, I've been doing this for all these years. I have education. I've seen ups. I've seen downs. I've seen downs. I've seen downs. And I've seen the highest of ups. So I was like, I'll just keep sharing with people. And I said, screw it. Like I was putting off, making a YouTube for years because I was like, I want to have a cool backdrop. I want to wait until I have my house and I'm not in my apartment.
Yeah.
And then I finally get my house and I put it off for a year and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the YouTube. So I just recently started the YouTube 7-8 months ago and it's doing pretty good.
I think it's 9 months.
Oh, 9 months. All right. Thank you. Yeah. 9 months, my man. But it's new to me, but I'm having so much fun doing it. And it's during the day, I get home from work. Even if I work that day, I spend time with the kids and then I go and film a video when everyone's asleep and then I put my video out.
Yeah, you do a lot, bro. I watch. I keep up.
I treat it entirely like another job. Like that's how much work I put into it. I'm looking at the market like it's another job.
Crazy.
I'll literally be in someone's basement and I'll be bidding on something. Or I'll be in someone's basement and I'll be listening, reading PokeBeach.com, looking at the latest news. I treat it like a second job.
What the fuck is PokeBeach.com?
Bro, PokeBeach gives you all the news, bro.
You got to put me on because this is what I'm using this as an educational thing. Yeah. I'm trying to get educated on Pokemon today.
Yeah.
PokeBeach.com.
Yeah, dude.
What is this?
Shout out. So anytime they have if Pokemon copyrights something, they'll be like Pokemon copyright the name Inferno Flames. So then everyone speculates it's going to be a Charizard set. Pokemon, copyright a Mega Dream. Dreams as it goes. That's what makes it fun.
It's an information center and it's like a forum almost.
Yes, and there's Bulbapedia. So the first thing I found back in the day was Bulbapedia, and without knowing anyone, that's how I would learn about things was Bulbapedia. Because dude, when I first got into Pokemon again, it's a whole new world. You want to go back and you want to collect all the cards you used to. So you're on Craigslist, getting base set cards, jungle cards. You start with the stuff you had as a kid. And I'll tell you a freaking crazy story. So this is, I'm back in Jersey, right? Well, when I came from Pennsylvania, I'm back in Jersey. My mom's like, you have a whole bunch of stuff in the basement. And I'm like, I have a bunch of stuff in the basement. What do you mean? She's like, I don't know. You have Pokemon cards, Beanie Babies. I'm like, really? So I go to my mom's house and it feels like I'm a kid in Christmas, right? I'm ready to go. So I'm going down there. I'm going through. I find first edition cards. I find hollows. I'm finding all my old stuff. And then there's a couple of tins sitting there. And I remember during college, this is one of me being all messed up escapade, right? Thanksgiving Eve. I went to the Walgreens in Verona and they had these tins. They were level X tins. They had Garchomp, Charizard, Rayquaza, and they were $10 a tin. I bought 5 of them. So I guess that night I got home, I was banged up, and I guess I opened a couple of them, and that's that. Bro, there were still sealed tins there. So there was open ones, and there were still sealed ones, and I'm like, holy shit, how much are these now? I look them up. They were $1,200 for the Charizard, $1,100 for the Ray. And I'm like, holy shit. So then I go to shout out to Time Warp in Cedar Grove.
The best.
Yeah.
R.I.P. What's his name,
R.I.P.
man?
Dave, bro. Dave, dude, him and I
R.I.P.
established our connection too. I was hanging out with Dave all the time, bro, when I moved back up
Rest
here.
in peace, man.
But like Dave, and I was like, dude, what can I trade these for? And he's like, oh, I have Unified Minds booster boxes or box cases. So it was like, I kept a couple, like a 10, and it was cool because I was able to like trade for like some items I never was able to afford at that time. And that's really what got the sealed collection going, by like taking more of that, the comic money. And I just put everything I had into the newer stuff. And then I gave the newer stuff at the time, 2019, 2018, so in 2018, 2019, like still the stuff from 2015, 16, or 2016, 17 was still really cheap. So I'm buying all that stuff, and then it just all blew up because it wasn't printed as much as the new stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And that's how I was able to do so much more.
Wow.
Like I had Phantom Forces case that turned into something insane. Team Up case. Like Team Up's like one of the most expensive Sun and Moon sets. And it put me in a whole nother stratosphere, you know?
Insane.
Let
me ask you this: as far as creating Pokemon content goes, whether it's collecting, unboxings, hunting, trading, market analysis, things of that nature, which one of those types of Pokemon content excites you the most, and why?
Okay, so it's like a tie. Like I love opening Pokemon product, but I'm weird. Like it's more about the moment. So I like to do it off a camera when I'm sitting with my family, with my kids and my wife, because like I can't reenact that on a camera, right? Like I don't want to have my kids on camera first and foremost, but like the moment when like my daughter pulls something and she's jumping up and down, like my wife sits there as part of it. Like that's my favorite part about the hobby, is opening stuff with my kids. But like my favorite thing to do for content, like I love listening to market analysis. I love doing market analysis. I like doing openings, right? But my favorite aspect of this is when my family is a part of it, right?
Sick.
Like it just reminds me of like when I was that little kid sitting there, like when they have their binders and they're going through it. Like there's a sense of peace that I can't explain. Like seeing my daughter, like Izzy's like, look at this card, look at this. Like their binders are insane now because they've been buying since I was like back then. I would buy them stuff. It's crazy looking at like some of these cards that were like a $3 card is now a $120 card. Wow. It's insane. Like some of these promos that were worth nothing, like they had like the Snorlax and Eevee promo. Now it's like super expensive. But that's like, I love the opening. I love the thrill of pulling something, but like, I think watching them pull it hits me a little bit different.
That's amazing, man. What's crazy to me too is, like I said, you kind of do a lot of videos based on market analysis regarding the cards and the sets and this and that. I never in a million years, when I was a kid in 1999, buying Pokemon booster sets or whatever it was, and doing packs and stuff, I never would imagine that there'd be fucking market analysis YouTube videos, giving you, advice on what to buy for how long and how to store it for. I mean, could you ever imagine that?
Dude, because when I got back into the hobby, I remember like 2018 sitting on the floor, right, watching Leonhardt. He's one of the biggest YouTubers. Watching Leonhardt open packs, and that's what I was doing. There was no market. It's like you had SM Pratt and like Alpha Investments back then, but like it wasn't the norm. Like, dude, if there was market analysis back then, dude, I would have been freaking unstoppable, right? Because I didn't have anyone telling me what to buy. I was buying like some bad, like Detective Pikachu boxes and tins, right? And
I don't even know what that shit is, bro.
But like I had no one telling me what to buy. And I mean, some of it is just from me having passion, buying one to keep sealed and one to rip. Like that was the best advice I ever heard. Buy one to keep sealed and buy one to rip. But sometimes I would keep both of them sealed and then buy a third and open that. But like, these people have such a head start now. Like my biggest thing is like the Sword and Shield era. It's like from 2021, 22 now, but like that's where I would focus so hard into right now. And it's like, you're getting that head start. You have someone that's been here for years saying, hey, that makes way too much sense right now. But the crazy thing is nobody wants it until it goes up. Like the human psyche is programmed like that for some reason. Right now is your shot. It's cheap, but they don't want it until it's expensive.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. But like that's how I got so far ahead because I bought it when it was cheap and nobody wanted it.
Wow. And you're just storing all this stuff. If anybody's out there seeing the PokePlumber's Instagram, it's absurd. I love my favorite shit is the videos of your little son. Like in the room of those fucking cases. There's just cases with labels and
Taller
cases
than
and
him,
cases.
yeah.
Insanity, dude. It's absolutely insanity. But one thing that I think is even more insane is that most people don't even play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like probably, I would say, now I'm not in the space. So you could obviously correct me and answer this more in an articulate way than I could ever. From my outside observation and just having common sense, I would say 80% of the people who buy Pokemon cards don't even play.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. Like the reason, I'll be honest, the reason like I got back into playing was because like I befriended those people at the store and they were like, hey, you should come play. And like the pre-release, they were like, oh, you'll get the product early, right? And it was like Unbroken Bonds was like coming out. And I was like, oh, we get it early. So I remember going to pre-release and only like 3 people were there, right? And I think the same happened with like Cosmic Eclipse, but I was like, hey, I'm getting this stuff early. And they're giving me like the promotional stuff, the play mat, a poster. I still have all this stuff too. It's actually like my main mat. But it's like, it's crazy because in 2019, no one was going there. So nobody was playing at all. Nobody was collecting. Nobody was playing. And we had the best sets. Like some of these sets are amazing now. But it's just so crazy because like they make it so accessible now. Like you can play Pocket on your phone. They have all these apps. Yeah, like Pokemon Pocket. So you can open the packs, right? I knew it was going to boom. It was just like when, I wasn't, even I went back when Pokemon Go came out. Like I bought some stuff, but I can't say I collected because I wasn't like fully back in yet. So like, yeah, I dabbled in Pokemon Go, which was like, I believe 2016, but it wasn't like that passion yet. But like they had a boom back then. Like you hear stories of Roaring Skies going to like $300 a box when that was unheard of back then.
Wow.
But now, like when Pokemon Pocket was coming out, I was like, what if we have another boom like we had with Pokemon Go? Like I literally, this is on video, me saying this, right? And like, dude, that came out and it was like the same thing all over again because everybody has a phone nowadays, right? So everyone had that access to Pokemon. And then everyone was like, oh, I don't want to open packs just on the phone. Let me go get real packs. And I think that was truly part of the new boom.
Wow.
Wild, right?
Dude, what's crazy about that fucking app is I got it when it first came out and I was playing Pokemon Go a little bit. I actually got a fucking driving ticket.
Playing Pokemon Go?
I was with my fucking wife.
That's why they changed it. Like you can't drive and play.
I'm with my wife. We're in Passaic because at the time I lived in Lodi and I'm trying to play and we're trying to drive around to find Pokemon. This motherfucking cop saw me on my fucking phone driving around the Passaic Park. And I got a fucking ticket, dude. I was so fucking aggravated. I haven't played this shit since.
Really?
Not kidding.
Oh, dude.
I haven't played this shit since, bro.
Dude, my wife and I walk around LBI just like on the bikes playing it. Like we did that like 2 years ago. We were just riding around playing it. So much fun.
The crazy shit about that is like, I'm in public transportation. I'm a railroader. So I get to see like a lot of these people, you know, the society nowadays, we're glued to our phones.
Yes.
But the amount of people from all demographics, all age brackets playing Pokemon Go on the train is nuts. Dude, it's crazy.
And that's why I say this hobby is going to be forever. Because like, think about this. Like I have my daughters, let's say a set from 2022, Brilliant Stars. Like they were sitting there ripping pack after pack with me. They pulled the Charizard. Wow. So when they get older, right? Like say 25 to 30, right? They're going to be like, oh, I remember when I opened Brilliant Stars with my dad. I want that box. So there's always going to be demand. Yeah. Even though these new sets, it's like every era, it's a double the amount. But you have all these rip and shippers that are ripping product. So that sealed box is always going to age well. Because like the amount of packs being ripped on a daily basis is millions. Millions in the world. It's insane with all these rip and shippers. So it's
crazy.
Like the sealed product's going to last forever.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense, man. One thing that I noticed too is that, you know, I collect many things, as you already know that. You collect a lot of shit too. You know, we both have many interests. And it's
dude, I just want to say this, bro. It sounds weird. I've been watching you for years. Like, dude, I loved your collecting escapades. I loved the you know, the clone of the day. Like, dude, I loved watching, you know, the grid. Like, bro, you've always been entertaining. You've always been a collector. And I remember when you had, what was it? The puppet movie. What's that called?
Puppet Master?
Puppet Master. Like, I remember when you had those figures, I was like, that's awesome. And then I remember you putting on like, you had like that kind of like cardboard so you could slide in.
The slat wall.
Yes, the slat wall. Like, dude, I've loved watching it because you've always been a collector. And that's like, bro, if you go back, there's older messages of me and you talking about like figures. So it's like, bro, you've always been entertaining. I always loved your collection, like your video games, like your passion. And that's something like I respect and admire about you. And you're a great dad too, great husband. So it's
I appreciate it, man.
Like when you're a mess and you're watching your videos, like that's something you admire to be, dude. And it's just beautiful. And bro, this place is beautiful.
That means a lot to me, man. I really appreciate you because I feel the same about you. You know, watching your come up and what you're doing now, it's awesome. Even though I'm not like a big Pokemon guy, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm a fucking collector.
Yeah.
I'm there. I know. And I hate this, but this episode's probably gonna fucking ruin me.
Now you're gonna be
bugging.
He's gonna call me Nick. What do I buy?
now I'm gonna be fucking trying to make connections. Getting a fucking, like the suitcase you got here that's got gemstones in it with a fucking combination lock.
The Zion case. Shout out to Zion.
There's a fucking Range Rover in a suitcase sitting next to me. It's fucking hilarious. But I noticed because I'm in many fields and I like to collect a lot of things. And I have a lot of friends that are still heavily in shit that I'm not really into anymore. And a lot of my sneakerhead friends, the guys that like big time resellers, a lot of them shifted to Pokemon and I'm seeing them getting cases upon cases. It's weird. So with that being said, having this phenomenon blew up and exploded, how has the outsiders, meaning the sneaker collectors and stuff that are just getting into it now, how has that affected the scene for you personally and Pokemon as a whole?
Like, honestly,
yeah,
they're going to hate me.
Who cares?
All right. So honestly, dude, they messed up the secondary market bad because they like, so the sneaker community, like even when you're buying on like the secondary market, say it like a vendor, right? You had vendors that would like, you used to be able to see last sales and they would sell you around the last sale price, sometimes a little cheaper. The sneaker mentality was, okay, these are the last sales, but the lowest listeds are way higher than that. So I only want to sell at the lowest listed price, right? That's what the sneaker guys do. So they brought that to the Pokemon market. Right. Oh. So now everyone's making up these numbers. They want the lowest listed, which doesn't mean shit because I can put on eBay at a stupid price and say that's the lowest listed. Right. Like it's changed so much because now the secondary market, a lot of the sneaker guys would go buy shoes and quick flip them and, you know, do that. But now when you have an influx of sneakerheads and guys, before you come at me, I was a sneakerhead back in like 2010, 2011. Okay. But like, when you have an influx of, they have bots, right? Because they're botting shoes, but now they're botting Pokemon. Dude, I have people that have sneaker stores shoot me messages saying, I have 300 boxes of this. Do you want it? Right? And 9 out of 10 times they're sneaker guys, right? If you click these guys' Instagram, it's 2 Pokemon posts and then 99 sneaker posts. So now they had bots. Pokemon had bots, but it wasn't that crazy because everyone could get it.
The sneaker guy bots are crazy.
Crazy, bro. So now Pokemon Center literally had to make this whole new, they had to redo their whole thing to block these bots.
Really?
And it never happened until the sneaker guys came. Okay. And now these lines at Target, you see fist fights and all this stuff. Last time we saw that was COVID. But before that, bro, Pokemon is just a bunch of like, you know, dudes that aren't like that. They don't want to throw down. It's not like that. So
I fucking hate sneaker people. This is coming from a sneaker OG. I fucking hate sneakerheads. I do. I hate them.
I mean, you see these sneaker guys beating up this kid that
fucking hate them
because they're arguing over a spot in line over Pokemon cards. But it's like, dude, you didn't have this before.
You're a cancer.
It's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. But like, that's why I'm excited. Like everyone's like, how dare you wish there's a crash? Is my net worth going to take a hit? Absolutely. But we need a reset bad because it's become too ridiculous, right? You shouldn't be able to buy a box at $100 and sell it at $300 instantly. Like a 300% return's insane. That's supposed to happen after 3-4 years of patience.
I agree.
Right? Now but like when you have an influx like this and now the market's slowing down a little bit, the amount of messages and posts I see of selling this, selling that, because I had people that have been here for 6 months tell me, oh, you have to pay this price because it only goes up. Like they literally had the mentality that Pokemon only goes up. Nothing only goes up. That's a years. Woozy
What goes
wazi.
up must come down.
Exactly. And now we're seeing all these people, they don't know who to sell to. And I think it could actually make the market crash the worst it's ever crashed, because you have all these people that don't know what they're doing, and everyone's going to throw all this product at the same time because they don't want to take a loss. And I think it could get worse than we have ever seen it. And this is a hot take, but I think the market could turn into a bear market for like 1 to 2 years because of this mess.
Now, it makes total sense. And this is from a person who doesn't collect Pokemon, but I have a lot of common sense. And exactly what you're saying makes perfect fucking sense, dude.
Yeah,
Perfect
dude.
sense. That's wild.
Like, I think that I've been telling a lot of people, make sure they have liquidity. And if you don't know what liquidity is, it means have a lot of cash, because you're going to have these deals that you haven't been able to get in the last year coming up, especially before the holidays, because a lot of people aren't just buying Pokemon, they're buying presents for their loved ones. So we're seeing a bigger lull than we did last year with Pokemon, which is scary. But like when January quarter 1 comes, I'm very curious to see if the market's going to bounce back to madness, or if it's just going to take a shit and just turn into an absolute bear market.
Yeah, wow.
So that's why I'm trying to, like, I still buy stuff, but I'm not going as hard as I'm used to. But I'm getting some, like, I'm buying at 70% again, 80% of comps, right? And the whole past year, everyone wanted 110%, right? Like, things are dropping 20-30%.
Wow.
But in the grand scheme of things, to me, if I bought this box at $100 and it went up to $800 and now it's at $600, I'm up 600%. But these people bought it when it was at $800, right?
Wow.
So they're down, right?
Wow.
For me, I'm just chilling, dude. That's why it's like slow and steady. Patience, enjoy it, have passion, have fun. These people, when they only see dollar signs, you're going to get smoked.
I told my son that today. Slow and steady wins the race.
Every time, bro.
Every fucking time.
Like, dude, I couldn't. My collection's insane. People are like, he did that just because he's rich, bro. I was broke as shit buying Pokemon cards because it made me happy. I bought it when there was no money to be made, when it was just like a new hobby to keep my mind right, so I don't rear left or right.
Yeah. Well, dude, you're always gonna get haters, and you're not successful if you don't have haters. So
that is true. The amount of haters is just insane, bro. You know, like these keyboard we never had keyboard warriors back then. Like, these people will like talk shit, and then in front of you they'll be like, "Hi, it's a pleasure." You know, like, it's wild.
They'll come to a show and come over your Charizard.
Facts. Everyone wants to see you do good, but not better than them. And that's unfortunately how the world is nowadays, right? When I see my boy doing well, I'm like, fucking right, bro. He busted his ass.
Yeah.
Like I always say it to my brothers. I always want to see you do just as good, if not better. Like, we need more of that in this world instead of like the negativity, pessimistic bullshit.
Yes.
Like, oh, you do a little bit better than me, so I'm gonna hate you. Like, that's where we kind of went wrong as like a civilization right now. It's like all hate. Like, competition's good in a healthy way, but bro, you want to raise
major character flaws, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
I need you to educate me on Pokemon. I mean, I know it's impossible to do that in 20 minutes. It's impossible. But I just want a kind of a rundown, because as I told you already, I was in it in the beginning of the US releases. So all I know is the base set, the jungle, the
first
fossil,
4.
and a little bit of the R, like I told you, a little bit of the rocket shit, Team Rocket shit. There are so many goddamn, just from me the past week, because I knew I was going to record with you. And let me take a look down the rabbit hole. On your page alone, my mind is blown. But there's so many different sets out there. It seems they come out like every fucking month now.
Bro.
From the time that Team Rocket came out, is there a way you could even put in a number for me? How many different sets have come out since then?
Jeez, bro.
It's probably hard for you to do that.
Not super hard. I mean, you have 12 per generation. I mean, with Scarlet and Violet, we had 10. Then you have Heart Gold that had 4 plus Call of Legends. I'm probably speaking a different language. But real quick, before we get into this, I just want to say one thing. You remember Team Rocket, right?
Yes.
We just had a set come out in, I believe it was May, Destined Rivals. It's Team Rocket Destined Rivals, right?
Really?
So we had that's what helped the craze go even crazier. So if you have any nostalgia towards Giovanni and Mewtwo, Destined Rivals might be a set for you.
So that was to get the old heads out.
Yeah. And then we had earlier in the year, we had 151. So that was the original 151 Pokemon. Right. So we had that come out too. You would love that. But that's like really expensive now too. Like, it's crazy how fast they're growing. But I mean, if you had to do the math, bro, at least 100 sets. Like, and so what we get is we usually get 4 main sets in a year and then 2 specialty sets. So you'll have like 4 booster boxes come out. Booster boxes are the one with 36 packs. And then you'll have like a specialty set, like the Mega Dream that you and I were talking about, that the Japanese one I was showing you the box of, like Ascended Heroes, and that comes out in February. Or no, it comes out in January 30th, but the Elite Trainer box comes out in February. That's a specialty set. So it'll be like a box that has like 10 packs in it and then like a promo and sleeves. But you get 2 of those a year. So 6 total sets.
A year,
yeah. 4 specialty and 2 main. I mean, 4 main and 2 specialty.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 4 main and 2 specialty. So let me ask you this too. I noticed that there's so many different types of physical releases. Mm-hmm. You got the booster boxes, you got the trainer boxes, single packs, tin sets. Like, it's the shit you gave me today for my son, which I'm very thankful for.
Of course.
With the lenticular massive
How
mega
sick
card.
is that?
What kind of set is that called?
So that has the Team Rocket set I was telling you. That's like one of the most expensive sets right now. So it has 2 of those, the Destined Rivals packs, and it has 2 Mega Evolutions, which is like the newest block, the Mega Era that just came out.
So is that considered like a variety pack, or it has a couple of different?
That's a collection box, yeah.
Collection box. Dude,
so you'll have a promo, you'll have the smaller promo, then you'll have the lenticular jumbo promo, and then you'll have 4 packs in that one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a cool product.
It's a crazy shit. So much stuff.
But the main thing you want to focus on, right, is going to be booster boxes for the main sets, right? Because booster boxes that's the most liquid item. That's the best. That's the most premium is a booster box.
How many packs? So a booster box
36 packs.
36 packs come in a booster box.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then you have the Elite Trainer box, and that's like your second item. That's pretty badass.
What exactly is a trainer box?
Okay, so you have an Elite Trainer box. They come with every main release too, right? So you'll get an Elite Trainer box and a main release as well, but it won't be as like for a specialty set. They strictly come in Elite Trainer boxes. There's no booster boxes, right? So with specialty sets, the Elite Trainer box is like a booster box for a main set. That's the best item is the Elite Trainer box. An Elite Trainer box, if it's Pokemon Center, you'll have like 11 packs. If it's the normal one, it'll have 10 packs.
The fuck?
I know, but like the Pokemon, this is why everyone loves the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, because they come with a stamp promo that says Pokemon Center, and it makes it shoot up like crazy just because of a stamp. It's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so mind blowing to me. I know like I'd have to take like a week or so to like watch a bunch of videos.
Oh, bro, it
to
took
really
me
get a
years
grasp
to learn this.
But it's like, it's so confusing to me because I've been so removed. Like I told you, Team Rocket was the last thing I ever bought.
It's intimidating, right?
Yeah, and then now I see all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, my buddy last week was like, oh, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, I think, they were having that release for the I don't know if it's the Charizard EX, whatever.
The Charizard EX, a Charizard X EX Ultra Premium Collection.
Yeah, so I guess he was lining up at like fucking the night before.
Those are solid. It comes with Destined Rivals packs, Mega Evolution packs, Surging Sparks, Journey Together, and Phantasmal Flames. And then it comes with like 2 really cool promos, a mat. Like that product, I think it's going to drop way more in price because another wave's coming. And they're going to have them at Costco for $80 a piece. But like, that product is S tier. It's going to drop in price, but it'll age super well. That item is dope.
Yes, Phantasmal Flames. That rings a bell. And I was looking on Target. I was looking at all these different variations and versions. I'm like, how the fuck, dude? Like I'm like just so confused. Yeah. I'm so far removed, but it interests me though.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it takes time because like when I got back into the hobby, I'm looking, Pokedata.com. It'll show you from the very first set till today, right?
Wow.
And you can click the set. It'll show you every card in the set. It'll show you how much it's worth.
Wow.
I'm not paid by them to say this, but I've used them for a long time. Pokedata.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane, man. One thing that I've noticed just from like my outside observation is that the value on the OG sets, from an uneducated perspective, the market value seemed to kind of drop on them. And it seems like the more current stuff is flipping for crazy money faster. Why is that? And if I'm even correct.
So It was like that, right? Like the brand new stuff, like MSRP is supposed to be like 163 and these boxes were selling for 300. But like a store used to pay like $85 to 87 and then their price went up to 90. Some stores pay 100. But the newer stuff, it's like the newer, shinier thing. However, right, it's still high. It's still way higher than it should be. But your vintage product, dude, it's going crazy. Even though we're in like
it's going back
things
up.
are slowing down, but the vintage boxes, like anything sealed, going insane right now. Insane right now. Like a box I bought in the summer for like $7K is like $25K right now.
What box was that you paid $7K for?
I paid. It was hold on. There's two boxes I bought. I bought a Rising Rivals that was $9, and then I bought Rising Rivals was $7K, and then Supreme Victors was $9. But
what year are those from?
2008. Rising Rivals 2009, Supreme Victors 2009. That's Platinum era.
Wow. What about the base set stuff? Is that still holding weight or no?
Base set is now hitting like 28 grand again. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But like, dude, a Rising Rivals, it was April I bought it. In April I bought it for $7 grand.
How many packs were in that case?
36. Yeah.
Dude, how many sealed cases do you have?
A lot. A lot, bro. A lot.
A lot. That's the answer.
Yeah, I'm afraid to I don't even want to say it, bro.
I get it. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I have so many people ask me show my sealed collection. One, I'd have to go like 3 different locations.
Oh, man.
But
you got them close by.
I'm afraid that
you don't have to.
If people see it, they'll be like, you're the problem.
Damn.
You know?
Well, it's investment, man. That's the thing is you got a one up on the market. You have the foresight. So,
but dude, nobody else. I had the balls to do it when everyone was so afraid of it. When Chilling Reign dropped to $80 a box, and you could go to every place in the entire country and they'd have it, I was the only one buying it in quantity.
Well, what was the so if you were paying $80, what was the retail?
It was supposed to sell at like $119.99.
Oh, that's a good price, yeah.
You know, and dude, nobody wanted it. And then on Pokemon Center, I believe it was $143 something. So technically, stores would have it at $119.99. Pokemon Center had it $143. Nobody was buying it, and I said, "Fuck it." I like the set. You know, I like the set. It had the second most alternate arts in the entire Sword and Shield era, and nobody wanted it.
But you did.
I did.
You knew.
Dude. Cosmic Eclipse, when Cosmic Eclipse is the main set that I opened the most when I first got back in the hobby. And those boxes during COVID jumped up to $200, and I was like, I'll buy more. So I bought more. And because Vivid Voltage was the COVID release, all I had was a Pikachu, and everyone's paying $200, $300 for battle styles. I'm like, dude, I'll just buy Cosmic because nobody knew about it because you had so many new people there. And then Cosmic went to $400. There's a video from years ago. I said, I could see Cosmic Eclipse being the price of a Next Destinies box. A Next Destinies was $2,800, $3,200. Cosmic Eclipse, right? This is years ago. I made this video. It's now sitting around $3,600 to $4 grand. I was bro, I saw this set and I saw how good it was. Bro, I was so on point. And I love it because that's why I record everything. Don't get me wrong, I get shit wrong too, but I've gotten more right. But it just shows you that with Pokemon, if you give anything enough time, it will just do its thing.
And it's nice to have those receipts.
Yeah, bro, it is nice. Yeah,
it's fucking nice.
You can't take anything I said from years ago. I said it.
I'm getting hip to the terminology and stuff like that, or at least from me just scouring the internet and looking. And my favorite terminology is slab, obviously.
Slab.
For those that don't know what slabs are, those are just graded cards, basically. And I love the aesthetic of the slab guards or whatever you call them.
All right. Shout out to the owner, Min. I was with him at Collecticon. Gradedguard.com. Dude, graded guards are the best things to cover your slabs.
Wow.
And they look so beautiful, bro.
Dude, amazing.
How good are those colors? They make the card pop more and everything.
Dude, when you can customize them to the aesthetic of the card itself, and it just brings the entire package together, it takes a boring slab
makes it
to
pop.
A new height. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love that. Seeing that, I'm like, oh, that's fire.
Isn't that dope?
I love
like
that.
the
I really
crimson
do.
on the Charizard, like that. Yeah, like isn't that beautiful, bro?
Dude, I love that ombre color fade with the glitter. That shit is sick,
the cotton
dude.
candy. It had like the pink and then the
love
blue.
that shit,
yeah.
I love that shit. I could look at that shit all day. Because, I don't collect Pokemon, but that shit makes me want to collect it.
Yeah, you can appreciate it, right? Yeah, you can appreciate it.
That shit makes me want to do it. So I see you buying many cases, boxes, whatever packs, all that. How do you choose what to open and what not to open?
I mean, I diversify a lot, right? Like, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. And like, I only open the newer sets. Back then I used to open vintage product because packs were way cheaper, bro. I was buying base set packs for like $50, right? Like everything is so different now. So like I open the newest set, I sit there, I enjoy it with my family. I'll open some on camera and then I pretty much am done with it. But like, that's like a newer thing. It's just because everything's so expensive now. Like back then, I mean, even in 2021, 22, I was, all right. I look at how much I opened of Evolving Skies. That's the most expensive modern box now, right?
Is it?
Like that was in 2021, and you could buy them at $100 a box. They're $2,000 a box now, right? And bro, I sat there and I wanted to master the set. I wanted to pull the Moonbreon. I opened cases of that. So now I'm look back at it and look at how much money I opened, even though I try not to because you can't do that. But I look back and I'm like, dude, I ripped like 6 figures just in Evolving Skies. Like, it hurts a little bit, and I never pulled the freaking card. I pulled every Altar twice or more in that set, but never one Umbreon.
Wow.
Yeah, it drives me insane.
That's fucking nuts.
But now they're like, if you buy like a loose pack, you don't know if it's weighed, even though you can get it for like $25 a pack. But still, it's like, it's tough.
And when you say weighed, you mean like, that's the type of when you unpack something, right?
Yeah,
you weigh it to know what kind of card is in it or something like that.
They make it harder with the newer stuff. Like with I think they changed it. I think Primal Clash might be the last set you were able to weigh. That's in the XY era. But like they make it so you can't weigh them anymore, but people still figure it out. I have a buddy that figured out even like the new sets how to weigh them. Yeah, so you don't ever really want to buy loose product, right? Unless it's like coming from a store that like you're physically there. They're not just doing something sketchy. So like when you're on eBay or TCG Player, I don't recommend ever buying like loose packs. You always want to buy it in sealed product. So like when I'm buying all the like prismatic evolutions, I think that has so much potential. I buy a bunch of sealed product. And I don't want to buy loose packs because people can weigh the God pack.
That's fucking crazy, man. People figure out ways, but that's how people are, man. Let me ask you this: how many PSA 10s do you have in your collection? If you could even figure that out, I'm sure you couldn't. But I mean, I see all your Instagram videos, and it feels like to me every post is a fucking PSA 10. Like, do you keep an Excel spreadsheet of your inventory?
I do.
And how often are you mailing shit to PSA?
Right now, I have like 350 cards at PSA. And it's been like fucking like 4 months now. It's taken forever.
That's the average that you're getting them back in 4 months?
Yeah, they're so far behind. And like even on the one submission, like it's a high-end submission, I paid like the highest tier and that's been over a month. It's only supposed to be like a couple weeks. That's how far behind they are. And I'm still paying so much money per card. They don't change it. But I also just, I have like another 50 card submission I'm about to send. But like I try to rotate it. So like once I get one submission, like a week later, another one comes in. And then I'll sell like the extras and I'll put some in my PC.
Wow. So how does that go? I know with PSA, you have to have a membership.
Yep.
And you pay, I don't know if it's monthly or annually.
Listen, they started doing this thing. They send you magazines once a month, right? Sometimes the magazine will have like a promo, like a one-piece promo. You can grade that promo, just one of them, and send it, and it'll pay for your entire year, right?
Really?
So like some of those magazines are like limited, 1 of 50, right? Just from like the magazine, and you could see a magazine sell for like $250. The membership's like one something a year. That's it. Dude, the membership alone, PSA, pay me for this. The membership alone is paid for by like a couple things they send you. It's insane.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because like everyone wants that one-piece promo. Like they sent like 2 one-piece promos in the year, and like, dude, you made a profit off the membership. Wow. Isn't that wild?
And I guess like if you're grading old stuff, right? When you get them, they charge you, what is it, like a percentage of what the card's value is to get it graded, or?
So it depends. If you're setting at like the highest tier, I mean, if you're sending like a card and it's like $20,000, you're going to pay something of it. Like my buddy got upcharged like 10 grand on this one submission, but it was all ponchos, right? It was like
10 grand on one submission?
On one submission, because he had the Mario, the Luigi, he had the half arts, and then he had like the Charizard, the Ray, like a bunch of ponchos, and they all hit 10s. So like, yeah.
What the fuck does poncho mean?
Oh, the Poncho Pikachus. It's from like the XY era, and like there's literally like you get
like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I'm speaking.
No,
like,
I love it. I want to learn.
But they're really expensive. They're the ones that I told you I had in Beckett 10s and I sold and I regret it.
The ponchos,
yeah. Shout out to Ponchos. They helped paid for my house.
I heard you say Mario and Luigi.
Bro, the Mario Luigi. I had them twice.
You're talking about like, we're talking Super Mario Brothers, Mario Luigi?
Yeah, it's Pikachu in a Mario costume and a Luigi costume. I sold the set for $10,000. Bro, I think the Luigi alone is like $14K right now. And like the Mario is like 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me ask you.
They're so sick,
I have a fucking funny question for you. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. What did you spend last month on Pokemon alone?
Oh, dude.
Just last month.
Bro, I can't, it's bad. I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. You don't have to. How difficult is it for you to juggle all the things you have going on in your life? You know, from the content, from being a husband, from being a father, from being a business owner. How tough is that for you to juggle everything?
Dude, I don't go to sleep till like 3 a.m. every day. Like the other night, I was so tired, I passed out on the couch at like 10, and I just like woke up. I was like, oh my God. Like,
wow.
But dude, because you have to make sure the kids are being loved. You have to make sure your wife's being loved, you know, like it's tough, man. And like, we have to make sure like at dinner time, we all sit as a family at the table. Like we're teaching my son, cause like he's learning, he's in the high chair, but like we're trying to create like, you know, rhythms here.
Yeah. And
it's like his teething throws us off even more, cause he's up at 3 a.m, like every night. It's like clockwork, especially now he has the incisors coming in. So it just, dude, it's a challenge, but I wouldn't change anything. Like this is the happiest I've ever been. Right.
God bless, bro.
It's a blessing, because like this is like it's so hard to notice like I'm where like I prayed to be, if that makes sense. Like I never thought like, dude, I shouldn't even be here, right? Like I've woken up on the floor with blood coming out of my ears,
Jesus,
like not knowing what happened, like a million missed calls from my friend Bo, like I was the best man at my best friend's wedding, you know, like I was there for him. Like that's the most important thing, is like now when someone needs me, I'm physically, emotionally, mentally there for them. And like, it's like so easy to forget. Like I wanted to be here, and you have to stay in the moment. Like that's so hard for me, because you're constantly going. Right. And sometimes, yeah, it gets hard. You get discouraged, but it's like, dude, I prayed to be here. Like God's great, man. Like I don't even know what to say. I am just very lucky, and I'm grateful. And that's the thing, is I always remain grateful. If you ever look at my posts, like I'm grateful to add this to my collection. I know people like make fun of it, but like I am grateful, because like, bro, if it was the old me, that shit would have been sold, you know, like,
yeah.
Like I am grateful. And that's the biggest thing, is I try to always remain grateful. Like sometimes I feel like, you know, like my biggest battle is like, sometimes I'm like, do I deserve this? Right? Like, why do I have this? But like at the end of the day, like I want to give my kids that life that I could never even imagine. And like with all the knowledge, all the shit I went through, now I have, God forbid, like I'll be there to help them.
That's amazing, man. I mean, looking back, right, on your whole story that we've covered tonight and stuff that we didn't cover, looking back retrospectively on what you went through, all the obstacles you've climbed and all that stuff. I mean, what is it like for you to look back on that and to see not only what you've become, but what you overcame as far as your trials and tribulations and how you ended up the way you are? Is it like a mind fuck for you?
Dude, it's like an entire like different lifetime for me, right? Like it's I tried not to talk about it, because I thought so many people would judge me for it, right? This is the first time I'm really putting out my story, you know, and it's awesome to do it with you, right?
Thank you, man.
Like I said, bro,
Appreciate it.
admired from afar for a long time. But like when I talk to Stiddy and he's like, dude, he's like, you and Al would like do awesome together. So
That's
like
my guy, bro. Love you, Stiddy.
Stiddy Cakes. So he kind of like pushed me to do this, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Stiddy.
And like, bro, I was just always so afraid of being like judged, but it's like, dude, I have to wake up, because it still doesn't feel real. I have to wake up and be like, holy fuck, man, I shouldn't be here. I accomplished everything I set out to achieve. Like, who could imagine, bro, literally going to Arizona, strung out, literally on the verge of death, right? No money in his pocket, broke, Arizona with a backpack, and where my life is today. Who could ever imagine that? With a great business, a great wife, great family, freaking unlimited amount of Pokemon. Like, God is great. That's the only thing I can say. Like, I don't know what else to say, bro, because it's still so hard to even fathom like where I am today.
Amen, bro.
It's wild.
Amen, brother. And, you know, thank you so much for coming here. I know that, like, it kind of put you in a vulnerable spot. And I appreciate you sharing my story, your story, rather, with not only me, but with the world. So I'm forever grateful. I'm super proud of you. Like I told you before, man, your daughters are lucky to have you as a father. Your son's lucky. Your wife is lucky. You're lucky. Your parents are lucky. I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on the show, bro. Really. I can't wait to share this story with everybody.
Dude, I love you too. I appreciate you really like having me. It brought me out of my my comfort zone, but I wanted to be here. But I just want to say something. Like, if you're going through anything, if you're struggling, depression, addiction, you can beat it. It might feel like your back's against the wall. It might feel like you don't have a shot, but like, reach out. You cannot do it alone. And the hardest thing in the world is picking up that phone and asking for help. But that humility, like that humbleness of a moment, I don't know if that's a word, but when you become humble and you ask for that help, the possibilities are endless. You just need to do it. You have to freaking grab your balls and you just have to do it. That's it. And never look back. Once you get in that zone, never turn back. And it's okay to never talk to old friends. It's okay to just keep it moving because there's so much more to life. And I'm just grateful. And that's the number one thing. Just try to remain grateful.
That's it, baby. On that note, thank you, brother. Again, this was great.
Amazing.
Can't wait to share it with everybody else, man. I love you, brother.
I love you too, bro. Thank you,
bro. I'll see you soon. We should do this again.
Bro, anytime.
This next time I'll do it with more Pokemon forward questions.
Because he's going to be collecting now. He's going to be collecting.
We'll see. You might have fucked me up when my son said there. Thank you, man. Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.